Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. And these little guys, these are the Knipex 9505 140s. They're a small little combination shear. Kitchen, shop, outdoors. But basically they fill a little bit of a void right here in some of the other shears I have, and I'll show you why. There's also a larger one that is the 9505 190. However, when I take a tape measure here, and the centimeters are on the bottom, and usually the last number, the 190 would, or the 140 would be the length. This goes out here to 150, actually about 153, which is interesting. So I'm imagining, I was thinking the 190s, might be somewhere in this size like these wisps, but in fact, I bet they're out here, the 190, if you went with the larger version. These go out to 200 or 20 centimeters. These stills here, I figured that might be the next size up, but I don't know because I don't have them. But anyway, what I was after was a small utility shear, something that gives you, through just small size, gives you that dexterity and precision, but also then has the bite and the control of, bigger, heavier handles, although these are fairly slippery, of a shear, a combination shear like this, meaning it's got one sharp knife edge here and serrations here. And playing around with them, they're dynamite. They're very small. They are very slippery, although these are even more slippery. These are so slippery that, I used to joke I'd spray them down with silicones because it'd make them easier to hang on to. It would be nice if there was some texture here, and I may actually put something on here to give it a little bit more texture. Before I cut with them, I'm going to show you, I've been using things like these. These are more horticultural shears, small ones made, I think these are Coronas, designed, for nibbling off of stems, trimming fruit plants, harvesting things. And they work great for that. Good, nice, grippy surface right there. Definitely a performer in its space. Nice strong spring there. However, the bite there is not quite what I need, mainly because of the point. Of course, I've got other kinds of shears. Here's some small VAM pliers, larger C-jets, but these cut like shears. There also is a Knipex pair that has the kind of the bend, not quite as much as this C-jet, maybe more, along the lines of something like that. And that combination shear is also available and not much more expensive. And I think it's about maybe a little bit bigger than this, but not much. I might end up with one in the future just to see what a small bent tip shear would be like. But anyway, let's take a look at what this thing does. I've got a few things here. First of all, here's a chunk of packaging. This was my one of my new toys for hunting season this year. It's a Gerber pack saw. I've kind of retired my old one, so I was looking for something else. But I still have the packaging around. And as you know, with the holiday coming up, the holidays often require cutting into some pretty solid packages. That's just sort of what happens. This is fairly thick cardboard. No trouble snipping my way through this. They don't guide as well. They're more loppers, if you will, than trying to make precision cuts, but they do okay. Again, taking small bites. So if you had, I wouldn't cut up a carpet with one because that's going to take forever. But because of those serrations, you can force your way through stuff. Here's another thing. I picked up recently a set of Snap-on semi-deep 3/8 or half-inch drive impact sockets. I had gotten rid of my chromes. I just never used them and kind of wished I had some again because there were a few times I really needed a big better bite than my Craftsman set that I've got. So I picked up a set of the Snap-ons. Came in this box. It was on sale off the truck because it was somewhat damaged. But what I've got is a heavy Snap-on box here. number one. I can recycle this when I'm done. But anyway, you can see I'm going through 2 layers. I'm going through the black layer and the plastic cover, but they have no trouble diving into this thing. Same with the withs, but the withs are so slippery they start to move around in my hand. I find them just too hard to hang on. Of course, using anything like that, it's more precise, but it doesn't bite in near as well. And if you're trying it with scissors, it's often a two-handed job, almost no matter what. These stills, these are pruners. These things are dynamite. They're one of my favorites. I can get them unlocked. There we go. And they actually really bite through a lot. But because of the shape, there's really no control. I mean, you just hammer through stuff. And then again, stuff like this, I can cut through it. I don't know, did you see that still? I can't remember if I had that. These are, I wasn't sure if that was on camera. I was watching what I was doing, so I didn't lose a finger. But anyway, these again, more precise, not if you want to go through 2 layers. If you want to go through 1, you know, they're nice and clean. You have a little bit of control. Same with those other C-Jets over there. But for just crunching through stuff, opening packaging, you know, chopping through, you know, cardboard to get into it, little tiny Knipex. These actually are not made in Germany. Apparently they're made in Italy. I don't have any trouble with that, as I've shown in my other video. I like a lot of Italian products. You can see what's written on those. Stainless steel. 9505 140s, pretty short. This screw here is for this locking mechanism. So if you close it down, you can see that slides right inside there. And if you push it a little bit harder, it holds the blades completely closed. If you just do it lightly, sometimes there's a gap. I've been pushing it pretty hard to try to get it to seat. It looks like there's room for, even as it wears, to continue keeping these closed. Uses nylon threaded nut right there, so you can adjust these to your choice. And then this spring is pretty solid, and it's captivated really, really well. Those sometimes you get them and they're, you know, like this still here. I have popped this thing off just like that quite easily. If it gets caught on something, you're reaching into branches or something, you pull it out and this just gets ripped out pretty easily. But it's easy to get back in. Anyway, these are the Knipex. I'm glad they're making other kinds of shears as well. There's always room. Just a little bit more texture is really, that's honestly my only complaint about these things. Otherwise, they're great. And with that, Doc out.